Hello, my name is Emily Simon, and when I turn in this final assignment, I will have completed the first four required classes in this program. That means the spring 2019 semester will be the first time the pressure of choosing my own class schedule will be on my shoulders. And I'm not going to lie, that prospect has been giving me some anxiety until I realized that I could use this project as a way to identify, with the help of relevant research, the skills or experiences or competencies I should keep in mind when crafting a plan of study. And that is what I set out to do. It quickly became obvious, however, that a youth services librarian needs to have a proficiency in a great number of areas, many more than I can even list in a 3 to 5 minute video. So instead, I've decided to highlight some more unique competencies, some that you might not consider a prerequisite for being a children's librarian per se, but may still help my resume stand out in a pool of applicants. I will then identify corresponding classes here at San Jose State to help meet those competencies. First of all, I really wanted to highlight the skill of performance. According to a 2017 study conducted by Becca Worthington, a good portion of ALA accredited programs do not incorporate performance or theatrical based elements like puppetry, storytelling, or reader's theater. I think this is a skill a lot of us, myself included, kind of assume you can learn on the job or can outsource to actual performers. How hard can it be to read a book to children? But as someone who has had experience teaching kindergarten, I know that the art of storytelling is not necessarily an inherent ability. I think future employers would see the benefit in a specific class that taught you how to engage an audience, to cater a performance to a specific audience, or even just how to improvise a book recommendation. Here at San Jose, we have elective classes through Info 281 in both storytelling and book trailering. Another perhaps more obvious skill is being able to keep up with technology trends. As makerspaces and media centers have become more popular, libraries have become known as places where you can not just access content, but create content. There's a wonderful article coming out of the University of Maryland that sets up a framework for how libraries can start building some of these spaces. And of course, the first few steps involve identifying what software, programs, or technologies are relevant and prevalent in the communities you serve. But then, very importantly, how library staff will be a part of those new spaces, how the staff will be advocates for that creation culture. And I think Stephen Abrams makes a very good point in his chapter on librarianship as an evolving profession when he says if information organizations define themselves solely based on their collections and services, for example, web search engines, ebooks, and podcasts, they threaten the very foundation of information organizations. Instead, the focus should be on the impact of information professionals on people's lives. So that's a human connection. Even if we're not experts in these new technologies, we still need to make an effort to learn about them and the assumption that we'll be part of the experience our patrons have with these technologies. Being up to date in technology is a never ending process and really calls to mind the importance of professional development after you graduate. But social media, web programming, even the new augmented reality class this summer would all be good options for future youth services librarians. I discovered another, maybe lesser known competency through an insightful article about advocating for teens in the public libraries. I know this article is not a scholarly source, but I wanted to include it in my project simply because it made clear to me that being an adept advocate both for individual populations within the library, like teens, and the library as a whole is a very important skill for a children's librarian to have, particularly because childhood experiences in a library can be so influential in a person's attitude and voting habits regarding the library in the future. As Cheryl Stenstrom outlines in her chapter in Information Services Today, a lot of advocacy is assessing the value of an organization and then effectively communicating that value to the right stakeholders. If you're trying to make changes within an organization while advocating for, say, a teen space or maybe a maker space, Knowing how to conduct an environmental scan and then incorporating those results within a strategic plan are valuable skills to be able to put down in a resume. So, a number of leadership seminars would help meet this competency, but I think Info 282 on political advocacy could be a worthwhile class no matter which pathway you're looking to follow. Finally, I could not give a presentation on competencies for youth service librarians without mentioning an awareness and appreciation of diversity. Diversity is mentioned 4 times specifically, but infused throughout the ALSC's list of competencies, which was last updated in 2009, that I found in the appendix of Jeanette Larson's Children's Services Today. Despite this focus and the changing demographics of the youth that populate our libraries, current research by Sandra Hughes Hassel and Julia Stivers show that librarians still seriously lack cultural awareness and competence. I think the article was very good to point out that simply taking a class on cultural diversity will not solve this problem. However, I think it's a good place to start, and San Jose luckily offers quite a few seminars in intercultural communication, diverse literature, cultural diversity in general, etc. I also come back to our earlier discussions, however, about leadership when thinking about this competency. Because even if you're not in a management position, you can still influence an organization with the right leadership skills. And if we have good leaders who care about cultural diversity in our libraries, a future study about librarians and the populations they serve might have different results. And that's why, even if I change my current profession goals, I will still invest in a combination of leadership and diversity classes and experience. I have been very thankful for this opportunity to consider what skills I want to bring to my future profession and to prepare a bit in advance for what my pathway through this program will look like. So thank you for this reflection time and for enjoying my presentation.